there's an Aston Martin that is not going out of the way, and we get a drive-through penalty for grazing him. Side by side with him, we overtake him, and with no contest, we're finally up in P3 again. We're maybe going to win the championship after the sprint next time out in Brazil. Welcome to the Season 1 finale. We're here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. The second sprint race of the season has begun, and we're here for the sprint shootout ahead of it. Down to the line we go, and where will we end up? For now, it's P1. After SQ1, we end the session in P1, so let's jump into SQ2 now. Down to the start finish straight we go, enabling the DRS and using the ERS in overtake mode. Down to the line we go, we'll end up SQ2 in P1. Here are the results, and now let's jump into SQ3. Through the middle sector we go, as we just finished off the first sector with a pole 1. Into the infield of the race track we go, into this corner, and on the exit we run wide a little bit and our lap time gets deleted. So we'll have to restart and try another lap. This time again, through the sectors we go, we had 2 tenths gap to Lewis Hamilton, but after sector 2 we lost 8 tenths, so we are now 6 tenths behind Lewis Hamilton. This means we gotta get a great pace down to the line with ERS on overtake mode and DRS wide open. Down to the line, we're 17 thousandths behind Lewis Hamilton in P2. So we'll line up in first row for the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint race. These are the results of SQ3, and now let's jump into race day. Here we are for the starting grid for the sprint race. Lewis Hamilton starts from pole position and I start from P2. Max Verstappen completes the top 3. Here are the 5 red lights, and when they go off, the sprint race is on. Here for the final time of the season, and we get a not so good start, a bad start, a really bad start. We lose 4 positions and we're down into P5 after just 2 corners through the center as we go. We're closing on Max Verstappen into turn 4. Can we overtake the 4-time champ into this turn? Are on the inside, but he hangs around the outside. And he stays in front of me. Side by side we go into the infield of the track, and he stays in front of me. And also Franco Colapinto in the Alpine had a little look on the inside, and I had to take avoiding action to not make contact, and he's through too. But into this corner we are able to stay in front of the Argentine driver, and into this corner we're able to overtake Max Verstappen. No, not yet, as he pulls up the switchback move and stays in front of me for the first lap. Into the final actual corner of the lap we go. On the inside we line up for a move on Max Verstappen. Can we also overtake him? On the inside he squeezes me nearly off track, but I am able to stay on track, and we can overtake the 4-time world champion as we begin lap 2. Now we're behind Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes, but Max Verstappen, he had a little look on the inside. I had to take avoiding action, leave him a little space, and now into turn 4 he had a little look again on the inside, and again it's costing me a bit of time, but I can stay in front of him, and now we're catching up on Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Into this corner we go, into this corner. Can we overtake the Mercedes main somewhere? Into this corner we go, and we can overtake him. Maybe. Now he pulls the switchback move and stays in front of me. For now, as we come to the end of lap 3, beginning lap 4. Into the final actual corner we go once again with 2 purple sectors. We're closing and closing on Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Can we make a move on the inside? No, he squeezed me off track and our lap time gets deleted. We nearly went for our fastest lap, but he squeezed me off track, so our lap time gets deleted. But into the first corner, can we overtake the Italian? In turn 1 we go, trying the switchback move, but he stays in front of me. But down to the second DRS straight we go. We're closing and closing, but not enough. It's not enough. He's pulling away slightly into turn 4. Can we make a move? No, we tap his rear. It's too far away and it's too late. We can't make any move anymore. And meanwhile, we are in the middle of lap 4 already, and it seems like that we're no longer able to follow him for the podium, and we have to settle back with P4 for now, as Max Verstappen is closing rapidly. We had to switch the fuel mix as our fuel is getting close to empty. So Max Verstappen is closing on the main straight, but he's not yet able to make a move as Carlos Sainz DNFs from the sprint race. Down to the second DRS straight we go. The ERS on mid. Max Verstappen is closing. He's closing and closing. With the defender inside line into turn 4. Side by side with go with the 4-time champion. For now we can stay in front of him. But for how long is this still possible? He's closing again into the infield with defender inside line once again. Can we stay in front of him? For now there's just half a lap to go. Can we stay in front of him? Or can we even finish the sprint race as our fuel is not really getting up into the positive range? As we come to the final few corners of the lap, we're putting away slightly on Max Verstappen, but can we also finish the race? Into the final extra corner we go, onto the start finish line, but we're losing top speed, we're losing speed, the fuel is helping us, we're no longer able to fight, the fuel is all, it's gone, and we're out of the points, in the sprint race, and Lewis Hamilton comes home and wins the sprint race, I think. Oh no, this is crucial, this is really crucial. No, Charles Leclerc wins it, and Lewis Hamilton comes home in P2, so he gains further 7 points. The gap is now 19 points ahead of the main race here in Brazil. It's getting close and it's getting exciting for the main race. Here are the results. In the end, we come home just in P10, a few thousandths ahead of Oliver Bremen. Let's quickly check the updated championship standings ahead of the main race. We are now 19 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton in P2, and in the Constructors' Championship standings, nothing really changed. And now, let's jump into the qualifying of the main race. Here we are, down to the start finish straight we go. The ERS on overtake enabled and the DRS wide enabled too. Down to the line we go. Where will we end up? With 2 purple sectors and 1 green sector. We'll end up the first session in P1. And now let's jump into Q2 as we are getting through. So here we are for this Q2 lap with 2 purple sectors. Can we also add a 3rd purple sector? Yes, we can. 3 all sectors purple, and we end up the session in P1. And here are the results of Q2. Now let's jump into Q3 for the final shootout here in the qualifying with 2 purple sectors and the ERS on overtake enabled, DRS wide open too, and again 3 purple sectors, and we end up the session in P1, our 5th pole position of the season, and hopefully we can also convert it into a win, so we can also win the championship. Here is now the starting grid for the one last race in the season. And Lewis Hamilton doesn't even start from P2, he will start from P3, but this is not that bad actually, as it's just a position lower than usually. So here we are for the main race, and we get a bad start, we get even worse start than in the sprint race, but we don't lose this much positions in the end, so it's not that bad overall, and we can stay in front of everyone else. Down the second DRS straight we go, not yet enabled the DRS, but into turn 4, we brake very late on the outside. We had a little look on the outside to overtake Max Verstappen somewhere, but not yet able. Into the infield we go. Can we overtake Max Verstappen somewhere? We're closing, side by side, into this corner. We run wide a little bit, but to take it other line, an alternate line, but we're not able to overtake him, and still not as he goes through into this corner. Can we overtake him somewhere as we go into the final corner of lap 1? Can we overtake him somewhere? Into up the hill we go to end up lap 1. And we're closing on Verstappen. We're closing with 2 purple sectors as we just began in lap 1. So we were probably the fastest for now. Down to the start finish line we go. Can we overtake him somewhere? Into turn 1 we go. And here we go. We overtake Max Verstappen. But we run wide. We run deep. And our lap time gets deleted. And Charles Leclerc makes it. Uses it to overtake me instead. And we lose the position to him too. So we're down to P3 now. It's a three-way battle for the lead just after one lap. Into turn 4 we go now. We've caught up to Charles Leclerc. Can we overtake him somewhere in the infield to not let Max Verstappen pull away? Through this corner we go, side by side with the Ferrari man. Into the next corner, and we're able to overtake him. He tried the switchback move, but into the next corner we can squeeze him a little bit, and we can overtake him, and we're back up in P2. And now let's try to overtake Max Verstappen somewhere, as we used to overtake a little bit. Into the final corner we go, onto the start finish straight. We have now closed up rapidly, right behind Max Verstappen. We are onto the start finish straight. Where can we overtake him? Down to the start finish line we go. We're closing and pulling out of the slipstream. Into turn 1 we go. Can we overtake him? We take him wide a little bit and try the switchback move, but it's not. We're not able, as he gets a battle line into turn 2 and on out of turn 3. But now with the DRS enabled and the ERS in high mode, can we make a dive away to that inside? We nearly sent him flying, and he goes off track and he rejoins way ahead of me. So he made up time as he ran off out of the track. So we have to close up back on him again. Into the infield we go. Charles Leclerc nearly overtook me there, but we are now able to overtake Max Verstappen around the outside maybe. No, we tried to switchback move into the inside. Can we overtake him somewhere? We nearly lost the car on the exit of that hairpin, but he can stay in front of me as we go into lap 4 now. As we are closing up the hill we go once again. Can we overtake the Red Bull man somewhere? We are closing again on Max Verstappen. Can we overtake him? We've got this much of battery left, and we're also pretty far away. Into turn 1 we go. We're closing with the braking, but not for overtaking, just for closing, for preparing to overtake him out of this third corner into the second DRS turn. Can we overtake him now? We're closing into turn 4 we go. He doesn't defend the inside line, but he brakes late enough to stay in front of me from the outside. Meanwhile, we're setting a power first sector, so this is probably our first lap attempt. Into the infield we go. We're closing on Max Verstappen into this corner. Can we overtake him? Can we? No, we can't. Not yet. We try to switch track move on the inside, but no, we hang around the outside. Nearly could make it, but he squeezed me off track. And now into this corner, can we make a dive bomb? But he stays in front of me and hangs around the outside. And now Charles Leclerc uses it and overtakes me. And I'm again down to P3. Up the hill we go. Can we now do something, or can Charles Leclerc do something against Max Verstappen? Can we now let them both race each other a little bit so we can later make a double overtake? We'll see as we begin lap 5 now. Into turn 1 we go. Not yet a move from them, but into turn 2 onto the second DRS straight. We're closing on Charles Leclerc. Now we have closed up on Charles Leclerc. It's close, but we're too far away and we have too little of battery left, so we can't make a move. But into turn 4 on the outside, I had a small look, but we couldn't make it as we were too far away and had too less entry speed. So for now we'll have to settle back and get back on them again in a few corners time, as we now coming back to the middle sector again with the first sector purple and over a second on Delta. So maybe we can finally set the fastest lap, as we had a little look into the hairpin again on Charles Leclerc, but he could hang around the outside. So into the final corner we go. No, Charles Leclerc has closed up on Max Verstappen. I think maybe he can make a move on the first turn. No, probably, as you know, are on the start finish straight again. We're still 7 tenths over our previous fastest lap. So this time we can't set the new fastest lap, but we can set a lap time for now. And Charles Leclerc got hauled up by Max Verstappen, and we can use it to overtake him. And we're back up in P2 now, as Charles Leclerc probably had a look on Max Verstappen and couldn't convert it into a move. So now we could make it, and we're up back into P2. Now we're right behind Max Verstappen again, and we have to close up to him through the middle sector now. But Leclerc has a little look on the inside again, and this is costing us a little bit of time once again. And we can set a purple first sector. So in the first sector we're as fast, I think, as you always set the purple sector in the first sector. As we come to the hairpin again, We are not yet closing on Max Verstappen. Instead, he's pulling away, and Charles Leclerc overtakes me as we run wide through that corner a little bit. But on the exit, we can get back on him maybe side by side with the Ferrari man up the hill, down to the start finish straight, down to the line. Can we overtake him somewhere as our battery is empty? We've got no battery left, but still a great top speed in the first corner. Can we overtake him? Yes, we can regain P2 and stay in P2 for now, as we won't be able to overtake Max Verstappen right away, as we still haven't got any battery left. Into turn 4 we go once again. Charles Leclerc is closing up a little bit on us, and we again set the pole first sector, so we are fast in the first sector. And into the infield we go once again. We're closing on Max Verstappen. Can we overtake him? No, not yet, as we were way too far away. But through these corners we go now into the next hairpin. Can we overtake him now? No, we are still too far away. But through the middle sector we've closed up rapidly on Max Verstappen, so maybe we can make a move on the start finish straight. Up the hill we go with a green middle sector this time. A second, we are up on our previous lap. So we're now closing. We had a little look on Max Verstappen on the inside, but now with the DRS open and nearly not using any battery, and we're finally able to set a new fastest lap, and we are also able to overtake Max Verstappen maybe as we come into the second DRS straight. Unfortunately my battery is empty again, but we are still able to overtake him on the inside maybe, as he hangs around the outside and gets a bad exit off the corner and squeezes me nearly into the wall and stays in front of me again. This is crazy. Great battling with Max Verstappen, but also harsh as he squeezes me everywhere. Into the middle sector we go again. Charles Leclerc is not yet able to overtake me, and I make the switchback move. Can we now overtake him? And I like that, make the switchback move, switching to the inside, and we're up in P1 finally. After 6 laps we're finally able to overtake both of them, and we're up in the lead. Took me a while, but we're finally able to hopefully maybe also pull away, as they are both trying to catch me. Down to the start finish straight we go. Can't you overtake me? We defend the inside line. Max Verstappen tries it around the outside, but we break late enough. Instead we're nearly 3 wide, and Max Verstappen is through. Max Verstappen is back up in the lead, but can we now overtake him, as we have got the overtake and DRS? We're closing down the second DRS straight, but it's nearly too far. We had a little look, but it defends the inside line and stays in front of me. And instead Charles Leclerc had a little look on the outside of as we go into the infield. He had a little look and nearly overtook me, but we were able to defend the inside line and stay into P2 and try to overtake Max Verstappen instead now, as we go into the hairpin again having a little look, and we're again through. We're through. I can't Max Verstappen side by side with Max Verstappen. He can't overtake me on the outside, and also Charles Leclerc overtakes me. With that we're again down to P3, and they are pulling away as we've got nearly no battery left, as we're saving it for later. So they are both pulling away. Can Charles Leclerc overtake Max Verstappen, as they're really close space together into turn 1, but not yet able to make a move. And a few laps later we have also caught up to them again, as our battery is now charged up a little bit more. Into the inside we had a little look, but to overtake Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, and then we lose both position again, and we're down to P3 again. But now Charles Leclerc tries to overtake Max Verstappen, but Max Verstappen comes across the line and squeezes off Charles Leclerc, and I use it to overtake him, and I'm up to P2 and trying to overtake Max Verstappen right away into turn 4 and make a huge lunge on the inside. But Max Verstappen can hang around the outside and stays in front of me. Into the infield we go. Now I had a little look on the inside. Can we overtake him? No. Into the infield, he stays in front of me again. And Charles Leclerc also had a little look on the outside and nearly overtook me. But we were able to defend him, and also Max Verstappen was able to defend me. As we come to the hairpin again, and Max Verstappen stays in front of me, and then Charles Leclerc overtakes me again. Charles Leclerc overtakes me, and we're down to P3. 3. We're trying to re-overtake Charles Leclerc right away as we go up the hill into the start-finish straight, but he squeezes me nearly off track as I back off. And he has got a DRS and probably also some more battery left, as we have got no battery left anymore. Into the infield we go once again, now trying to overtake Charles Leclerc on the inside, and we're able to do it. We're able to overtake Charles Leclerc right away, and also now trying to overtake Max Verstappen into the hairpin, but not yet able, and we nearly lost the car on the exit, and Charles Leclerc uses it to re-overtake me again, and again he's through. And this time I decided to try an undercut on both of them as exiting the corner again side by side with him. I tried to come to the pits for an undercut on Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, but Charles Leclerc comes to the pits too. This makes me unable to make the undercut on Charles Leclerc too, but what an entry speed he has got as he came to the pits. But on the exit we can overtake him on the exit line as he is crawling out of the pits somehow, and we are able to overtake him on the pit exit. So we are now right away closing up on Oliver Behrman as we fell down to P8. But on the exit of the hairpin, he spins me out, he squeezes me off track and spins me onto the other side of the track, and we lose the position to Oliver Behrman and a huge amount of time as Pierre Gasly has got up to me. Let's hope that he won't be able to overtake me on the start finish line, and he wasn't, as he caught up to Oliver Behrman a lot later, and this time we can make the move, nearly spinning out again as he tapped my side pod, but now we were able to overtake him, and also with 2 purple sectors can we now set a new fastest lap. Down the line we go, yes! It's a 1:03. What an impressive lap. And half a lap later, we've got up Isa Kancha, and he squeezed me off track as he wants to come to the pits while we were trying to set an even faster lap, and our lap time gets deleted as we weren't able to react fast enough to prevent our car from coming off track and getting our lap time deleted. But it happened anyways, and in the end, we have now caught up to Andrea Kimi Antonelli once again, the Mercedes man. Side by side we go with him into the hairpin, and with no contest we're able to overtake him, and we're up to P3. Now we've only got Lewis Hamilton, who's now come to the pits, and Russell, who came to the pits a lot later. So we're now finally released into the lead and can push away for our second pit stop, as we came in for the first pit stop a bit too early, and the soft tires won't last to the end. Into turn 1, and what is the Haas doing? He's literally coming across me again. I thought the AI got updated and renewed. Somehow the AI is still coming across the track a little bit. In the end of the lap, we came to the pits this time and changing to another set of soft tires. Out of the pits we go. We didn't lose any positions, so we were far ahead enough of anyone else to not lose any positions. Therefore we exit the pits comfortably in the lead with nearly 5 seconds gap to George Russell, who is now in P2. He somehow managed to get up into P2 during the pit stop phase. And what other backmarkers doing? They're crawling on the track and coming across all over the track. But somehow I managed to get through all of it. And in lap 24, the safety car came out suddenly. For what? We don't know, but it came out nevertheless. And it will bunch up all of us. 4 laps later, in the end of lap 28, it came into the pits again. So we are finally released to push away for the final few laps of this final race of the season, to maybe also crown us as the world champion of season 1. But it's still a far way to go. Not anymore, as we come to the final lap of the final corner onto the start finish straight. And this was it then. We managed to stay ahead of everyone else. In the end, Lewis Hamilton managed to get up into P2 with 5.4 seconds gap to me. But we won it. We won this season 1 Brazilian Grand Prix. And with that, we also won the World Drivers' Championship in the first season with the Racing Bull car with 26 points. We're now world champion of season 1 as Lewis Hamilton came in P2. And we managed to make up the 7 points we lost in a sprint race. And here are the results. Carlos Sainz managed to again get into the points with that garbage Williams car. And this means they are now at 2 points in the season. The first one scored in Dubai with Carlos Sainz getting into P10, and now here again a P10 in the main race. So 2 points for Williams this whole season, no points for Albon, but 2 points for Carlos Sainz. And my teammate didn't score points in the end once again, but we managed to get our first World Drivers' Championship. Also with the fastest lap in the end, we even improved it further. And here are the standings for one last time. Driver Championship standings and Constructor Championship standings. And also the full season overview. Here you can see that we won the championship by 26 points to Lewis Hamilton. And this was it then. Here's the last graphic to show that we won the championship. Lewis Hamilton came home in P2 and Charles Leclerc managed to still stay in P3. It was close with him and Max Verstappen fighting for third spot of the championship. Thanks for watching.